Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing well. Sorry if I sound a little bit weird, but I guess when it rains it pours, so I'm going to try to do my best. So let's start with AIYY. So week over week, looks like they did a pretty good job of converting like their options into cash, and then kind of like at the end of the week, it looks like I guess people started to cash out, and then the treasury position stayed pretty strong, and then as you can see from the options, like it started from a large negative number, 241, and then went all the way down to a penny, so that's always a good sign. So let's take a look at AMDY. Okay, so the treasuries looks pretty much roughly the same, and then the options went from a small debit to a slightly larger debit, and then they did a good job in like raising cash. And then let's take a look at AMZY. Okay, so there's a nice increase in cash as well, week over week, and then the options, it kind of went in the wrong direction, but it started off with like a positive 181 and then went down to 0.59, and then the treasuries stayed pretty strong throughout the week. And then let's take a look at APLY. Okay, so cash, all right, so it's not like there's a lot of interest in here, but I did notice that at least like the options, like it went from like 0.55 like all the way up to uh, negative 109, so that's almost like a double. So I guess like there's probably some heightened activity here. It's probably due to like I saw a thing about like they're getting out of like the electric car, so that could be good longer term maybe. And then let's take a look at CONY. So it went from cash of 0.63 to 0.29, so cut in half. I guess people are leaving. But then the options, that's actually pretty strong. Went from negative 2.64 all the way to 64 cents. So they probably made some good money in like the long call. And then the treasuries also stayed fairly healthy throughout the week. And let's take a look at Disney, the DISO. So cash, that's also a nice position. Like I guess people are pouring in to the Disney one. And then the options, it did fairly well. It went from negative 0.45 to start the week, and then it ended the week at a positive 0.33. So it's a good combination of the short options getting I guess milked, and then like all the long call also contributed, and then the treasuries. Okay, so it took a bit of a dip, but still overall, like the overall price, like some nice price action there. And then the cash, so it went from 1.16 down to 0.66. So I guess like people are taking profits, and the options position went from positive 0.14 to 0.65. So that's always a good thing. And then the treasury position also went from 21.94 to 22.78. So that's also a good thing. So Google, so GOOY, so cash went from 0.85 to 1.4. So I take it there was like some monetization here and there. So it went from like 0.68, and okay, so let's see, it started like in around the 26th, 27th, started like getting more premium in. So it ended the week at 1.57, and then the treasuries went from 16.99 to 16.65, so it's not much of a change there. And then JPMO, so the cash went from 2.06 to 0.73, so I take it some people are also cashing out of this product. It actually went down all the way to negative at one point. And then the options went from 0.21 to a really skimpy 0.01 to end the week. But this could be like they're starting the position from like a weird place. So it went from like a positive like 0.12 all the way down to 0.01. There's probably some rolling here. And then let's see, the treasuries actually went up, so that's actually not a bad thing. So it looks like they're shuffling some money around. So let's see if that makes sense. So it looks like they took some money from the cash and put it back into treasuries, so they can sell like more options to kind of start the week off. So I guess that's a good thing. Moderni, so it went from 0.26 to 0.24, so not much of a change there. And then the options, oh okay, so it went from negative 1.47 to negative 2.15, so that's good. And then treasuries went from 21.45 to 22.01, so it's going in the right direction, so that's good. And let's take a look at MSFO. Let me adjust this here. Okay, so cash went from 0.21 to 0.69, so that's an increase, so that's good. And then the options went from 0.44. Okay, so looks like we got some good price action in terms of like the options, and then I guess like implied volatility started to shrivel out, so it's like 0.32, and then treasuries went from 22.8 to 22.54, so it's like pretty flat. Netflix, so let's see, so from week over week, cash, all right, so it's roughly the same, 1.46 to 1.41, and then the options went from a positive 0.15 to a positive 0.28, so that's always good. So then the treasury went from 16.98, so small increase to 17.44. All right, so let's take a look at NVIDIA. So wow, this is really amazing. So cash went from 0.85 to 0.82, so not much. I was surprised to see, like, I guess like in the middle of the week they got a nice like bump up in cash, and then I guess like people started taking some profits, and then the options went from a positive 2.76 to 3.92, and that's probably just because like the long call has just been going bonkers lately. So treasuries went from 24.96 to 25.55, so that's always a good thing. So OARK, well, okay, so even OARK is doing a little bit better, so it went from cash from 0.28 to 0.41, and then the options went from negative 0.23 to, well, positive 0.25 for the new week, so that's, I take it the long call is doing well. And then the treasuries went from 20, well, okay, so treasuries stayed pretty flat, 12.85, almost, and then it's like it's pretty consistent throughout the week to 12.87. So let's take a look at PP. So it went from cash of 0.56 to 0.79, and then the options went, okay, the options are pretty consistent as well. 1.97 down to a little bit to 1.44, and then the treasuries also held fairly steady throughout the week as well, from 19.24 to 19.27. So let's take a look at the SQUI. So cash went from like negative 0.46. Oh, that's bad. But then I guess like people started pouring money in, or like there was some monetization here and there. It went from negative 0.46 to positive 0.44, so that's always a good sign. The options went from negative 0.24 to negative 0.42 to start the new week. And then the treasuries had a nice bump up too, so 21.89 to 23.74. And then our friend TSLY over here, so they had like the effect of like the reverse stock split. So the cash, all right, so cash, I guess like people kind of trickled in a little bit, and then let's see the options. Okay, the options look pretty healthy, 0.62, and then it bumped up to negative 1.82, and then it started like a slow grind down to, but it's still like a respectable negative $1 for the new week. And then the treasuries a little bit skewed again, but the treasuries held pretty strong from 9.75 to 19.9. So hopefully TSLY can continue like the positive momentum here. XOMO, let's see the cash 1 point. Okay, so that's a nice bump up. So 0.42 to all the way to 1.24, and then options held fairly steady from 0.55 all the way to like 0.49, and then the treasuries also took a small dip, 16.46 to 15.89. And then our new friend over here, MSTY, again, I expect, well, you can already see why for yourself, like it I mean, look at the amount of cash, 1.57 all the way to like 16.27, and then the options went from 0.8 to 2.78, and that's probably because of the rolls. And then I also noticed like the price action in MicroStrategy itself helped the long call, so 2.78 to start the week, so that's pretty impressive. And then the treasuries went from like 19.7 to 7.4. So I'm not sure if I should be concerned here. Like, but I guess like they have enough options, so they're probably shifting some money around just because like there was like there was like that big crazy roll. So it's probably like during like the middle of the week. So yeah, it looks like between, let's see, the 27th and the 28th. I mean, you can see like they took some cash. They probably cashed out, and then hopefully like it'll probably like reverse itself. Like some of that cash will go back into like the treasuries, so that they can sell more options again, or maybe even roll the positions. And then for ULTY, I'm not sure whether I should keep this more for myself or maybe I should like do a breakdown. But it's a pretty interesting ETF for me. And this time, like they don't have like the treasury positions. Like the option line over here actually incorporates like both the short call and the long stock. So I'm wondering like if they'll consider adding treasuries in the future. But I mean, either way, I guess I'm fine. I mean, since it's fairly new, it's a lot of cash. So then the options position, like, it's pretty interesting to see like the position. It went from like a positive, like only 0.17 all the way to 19.58. So I take it that because it's new, maybe they're shuffling some money around. But anyway, since the ULTY is pretty new, we'll see like in the next week how it kind of plays out. Because this is a lot of cash to deploy. So thank you for watching. I hope everyone makes some good money out there. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.